Facebook, Find Bigfoot. Patterson-Gimlin film, October 1967. If you look at the morphology of a Bigfoot, this confirms on almost every single point. Consistent coloring, striping down the spine, the trapezius muscles are different. Coned head, 60% arm length to total body height. White pads in the bottom of the feet. The feet lift and twist. There's an inline step. Rise, pause, fall in the step when it hits the hard ground. Gray on the cupped hands, gray skin on the face, brow ridge, no white in the eyes, possible eye shine, mid-tarsal break in the tracks, the inline trackway, and the hooded nose. The film starts with Patterson and Gimlin going up and down all around, and at the very end of the last film, it starts, and basically Patty is behind that log pile on the left, and then starts moving forward. And it's heading toward the trees. Gimlin jumps off, yells, "Cover me." Patterson jumps off. Gimlin also grabs his gun. Nothing really happens, but he runs over the bank. Patterson does, and you see Patty walk past. There's a debate about if it was 16 frames a second or 24 frames a second. This is most likely how fast it would actually happen. Maybe a little bit faster. He adjusts again, and you see the Patty walk away far into the distance, arms kind of held wide, hands cupped. And it went to the top of that hill straight ahead, and then it rested. Later on, there's some film. Some of the film was lost, but this is a film of Roger Patterson making casts of the trackway. You can see how they are inlined, and they're very deep by comparison to his steps and the horse's steps. Okay, now here's another enhancement where it's 50% full zoom. You'll start seeing the white on the bottom of the feet. You'll see the sheen in the hair and how it works. And we'll spend some time this week just looking through every single part. There's absolutely no way this is anything but a Sasquatch.
Patterson's words, exactly what happened that day.
As I walked across this sandbar, I was able to get some fairly good footage of it. It turned a couple of times and looked at us, and as it turned, it seemed to give me the impression that it didn't want anything to do with us. It didn't run, it didn't act scared, but yet it acted leery of us.
This is considered by many to be some of the best evidence for Sasquatch there ever was. In terms of what I have here, it's a full-size frame from the Patterson film, approximately life-size, give or take an inch or two. And as you can see, this is a very, very big creature. I'm 6'5", weigh about 225 pounds. You can see her body density is much larger than mine. You'll also notice that the mouth is far lower on her face than it is on mine, for instance. You will also notice that this creature has breasts. Now, that would have been a tremendous creative streak in terms of Roger Patterson constructing a gorilla suit, as it were, with breasts built in. It's not impossible to do, but why would you do that when the story of Bigfoot pretty much was built on a foundation of a male Sasquatch rather than a female? We can also see down here on the thigh that there appears to be a hernia.
Athletes get herniated muscles, and the hernia, when the muscle reaches a certain extension, causes it to bulge.
The hernia moves in perfect harmony with the contraction of the femur muscle as the creature is walking in the film.
And they believe that's what that is, something you wouldn't be able to attribute to a suit.
I've read all the accounts of its dismissal and so on and so forth. I'm not convinced by any of them. I still feel that the evidence, that what we call evidence, the canon of evidence, should include the Patterson-Gimlin film.
People say that's proven to have been a hoax, right? Well, no, it hasn't been proven, but that's the perception out there. So I don't raise that film anymore, and it's very sad But raising it as evidence just gets you into a discussion about he says, she says, and claims and counterclaims. I think we should just put that film aside for now, get on with the really hard evidence, especially the tracks, and then one day that we can bring that film back and say, well, what we now know about the Sasquatch is there in that film.